proud village of Igodo. The morning begins with drums and ends with the hum of market voices. The red earth glows beneath the sun. Goats wander between baskets of yam and pepper, and the smell of roasted maize fills the air. But lately, the laughter of Igodo had grown thin. Prices rose like smoke. The leaders grew fat with greed, and the people, the very hands that built Igodo, began to suffer in silence. Among them lived a man whose courage burned brighter than fear. His name was Very Dark Man. He was not the richest, not the tallest, not the strongest, but his heart beat for justice, and his tongue carried the truth like a drumbeat in a storm. They called him the man who argues with thunder, because when he spoke, even liars trembled. Very Dark Man was not a man of titles, but a man of purpose. He spoke for the farmers whose yams rotted in baskets because no one could afford them. He spoke for the mothers who watched market prices rise while their children's bellies sank. He spoke for the young men who stood guard at night with sticks because the king's guards were too busy protecting the rich. When corrupt chiefs took bribes, he named them. When the king's men taxed the poor, twice he confronted them. When thieves hid behind the crown, he shouted their names in the marketplace for all to hear. A leader who feeds himself while his people starve, he said, is a snake wearing beads. The people of Igodo feared his voice, but they needed it. Some called him reckless, others called him a hero. But even those who hated him could not ignore him. For truth, when spoken without fear, is a fire no rain can quench. One scorching afternoon, the marketplace of Igodo was filled with anger and dust. A new tax had arrived, heavy like sorrow. Salt doubled, oil tripled, and even water carried a price. The people sighed, the traders wept, but no one spoke, until one voice cut through the crowd. "My people," cried Very Dark Man, "when injustice becomes law, truth must become rebellion." He climbed atop a broken drum, his feet firm on the skin of silence, and his voice rose like thunder. Why should the poor pay more than the rich? Why must we bow to thieves who call themselves leaders? Is this the Igodo our fathers built with sweat and prayer? The crowd froze. The king's guard stood still. Even the wind seemed to listen. Then slowly one woman stepped forward, then a farmer, then another and another, until the entire market began to move. Hands lifted, voices joined. "Enough is enough," they cried. And for the first time the palace walls trembled, not from drums, but from truth. That night the elders gathered in secret. Some said, "This man will bring chaos." But the oldest among them whispered, "Maybe he will bring change." Days passed, then the taxes fell. The guards stopped their extortion. Corrupt traders fled the market, and the people of Igodo, for the first time in years, breathed freely again. But Very Dark Man did not rest. He walked the streets at night, speaking with the guards, demanding protection for farmers and traders alike. He stood in the square and warned the youth to stay away from the path of greed. He sat by firesides and told the people, "Peace is not silence. Peace is justice in motion." He spoke at funerals of strangers and said, "When the people are afraid, the land is sick. A nation that forgets its poor forgets its soul." Many hated him, some feared him, but all respected him, because when he spoke for everyone. Even the king, who once called him troublemaker, now listened in silence. One day, the king sent a messenger to the market with a simple message. "Tell Very Dark Man that his words have become the mirror of Igodo. We may not like what we see, but it is the truth." The sun began to rise again over Igodo, brighter, fairer, freer. The markets buzzed, children laughed, and for once, Fear seemed to fade like morning mist, and in the evenings, when the sky turned gold and the drums began to play, the people would whisper among themselves, "Be careful. Speak with truth, because very dark man is watching." They said he was stubborn. They said he was proud. But history called him brave, because in the land of Igodo, when every tongue trembled and every ear was afraid, one man dared to speak. One man stood for the people, fought for the poor, and spoke against the powerful. His name was Very Dark Man, the voice of the voiceless, the shield of the broken, the thunder that rolled for justice. And even when the drums fall silent and the markets sleep, the wind still carries his words through the night. Truth does not die, it only changes its voice. Remember, truth does not die, it only changes its voice. If this story moved you, don't forget to share it. Subscribe to Tales by Mr. Satellite, where every story beats with the soul of Africa.